Now I'm going to try a few tricky ones. I'm going to go through them fairly quickly this time. I've taken more time on the last few because I wanted to really fully explain it. But it might be useful for you to see me simply modeling working through these. So we're going to go ahead and do number 6, which is y equals x squared plus 4x. Now the first thing we can do is get the y-intercept for this. And this will be pretty simple because that's what y is if x is 0. Well, if x is 0, all this stuff goes away and I'm left with nothing. So the y-intercept is going to be 0, 0. So there you have our y-intercept. Now we need to complete the square to get the vertex. I'm going to copy that over here. I'm going to do that. Get rid of the automatic page numbering or question numbering. So now I need to figure out something I add to x squared plus 4x. Now you might be like, what do I do? There's no other numbers. Well, that doesn't matter really. I just need to worry about getting something to add to x squared plus 4x. Well, half of 4 is 2, so I square 2. So I get plus 2 squared, or really 4. But I can't just add 4 and be done with it. I've got to make sure I really added 0. So I add 4, I subtract 4. So really I'm adding 0. Then I'm going to take this part of the equation and I'm going to factor it. So this is going to become a 2. That's going to all go away. And I get x plus 2 squared because that was a perfect square. My a is a 1, so I know I'm going to have typical parabola shape. So my vertex is going to be at -2, -4. So I now have my vertex, -2, -4. And with that vertex, I can, and my y-intercept, I can get my mirror point. My mirror point is going to have an x value of 0. Hey, look, we have found, it's going to have a y value of 0. We have found our x-intercept, 0, 0, and then we're going to have to go on the other side of -2. -2 is the middle, so the other side is -4. So I've got mirror points, the y-intercept, and the mirror point at -4, 0. And these are both zeros for the y value, so that means they're also x-intercepts. Now, I'm just going to pick 2 points in between. I'll pick -1 for x and -3 for x, and -3 for x. We're going to move all of this so that we're not dealing with extra page numbers, extra pages in the middle. So here we go. I'm going to take my vertex form. I don't care about the one, so that's all I'm copying. And I'm going to, that's my function. I'm going to go ahead and plug in -1 for x here and -3 for x there. And then we'll solve it and see what our output is for that input. So -1 plus 2 is 1. So 1 squared is just 1. So I got 1 minus 4, and 1 minus 4 is -3. Down here, I'm going to end up with, instead of 1 squared, I'm going to end up with -1 squared. Same dang thing. That's just going to be 1. And 1 minus 4 hasn't changed. It's still -3. So my 2 points are 1, -3, and -3, -3. So -1, -3, and -3, -3. We'll go ahead and plot all of that. So I've got 0, 0 is my y-intercept, -2, remind myself, -2, -4. And then I've got my mirror point at -4, 0. And then I've got my other 2 points at -1, -3, and -3 comma -3. You can't see any of that stuff because I didn't move it, but now you can, and that definitely looks very parabola-y. So now we can plot that y equals x squared plus 4x, and it matches. Now I'm going to use the other method for doing this, and it's not letting me pause this time. So I'm going to have to go ahead and stop on this one.